Welcome back, everybody. Matt the Man here. Hope you're doing well. So this weekend we got a new movie that came out in the theater, starring Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Winston Duke, Hannah Winningham, and Aaron Taylor Johnson. There's a new film by David Leitch, The Fall Guy. Now, David Leitch is a director mostly known for action, but if you didn't know anything about David Leitch started out as a stuntman back in the day. He was actually one of the main stuntmen on the Matrix movies, all three of the original Matrix movies for Keanu Reeves and the Wachowskis. He then went on to finally direct or co-direct with Chad Stahelski the first John Wick, starring, you guessed it, Keanu Reeves. And then since then he's been directing movies. Like then first he did John Wick, then he did Atomic Blonde, then he did Hobbs and Shaw, then he did Deadpool 2, and 2 years ago he had Bullet Train. The movie deals with stuntmen. He has a background as a stuntman. Now he made a movie about a stuntman. It's almost a love letter to not only stuntmen, but to action movies as well. I like how the opening of this movie has a montage of action stunts, action scenes in other films. Funny enough though, all the action scenes are from Universal movies. It is a Universal film. So, you don't have John Wick, you don't have the Matrix, you don't have the things that are iconic, you don't have Die Hard, you don't have, like, the more iconic action movie stunts. But we do have, like, a lot of other movies, like Atomic Blonde, Hobbs and Shaw. They actually do have a scene from Fast 5, and they show Paul Walker, the late Paul Walker, doing an action scene. So I thought that was a nice nod to not only Fast and Furious, which is Universal. Having seen Paul Walker was like a nice, tip of the hat, if you will. Get started. Positives. Ryan Gosling is a great actor, as we all know. This guy can do everything from action to drama to serious moments to comedy. We saw last year in Barbie, he can end up getting an Academy Award nomination. He's great in here. He brings a lot of that charm that we know from like Crazy Stupid Love or La La Land. But then he brings those action moments that we saw like in Drive or The Nice Guys. He also has those great comedic moments, especially in like The Nice Guys or Crazy Stupid Love. His chemistry with Emily Blunt is fantastic. Their banter back and forth, but then just their romantic chemistry really, really works here. Also, Emily Blunt is great in here. She plays the director on the film, and I've always liked Emily Blunt ever since 2006's The Devil Wears Prada. He brings a lot of charm, a lot of funny moments. He's like that hopeless romantic in a way. But also she's awesome as the director of this movie. And I think her chemistry with Ryan Gosling is great. Also nice to see Emily Blunt, who was also nominated last year for Oppenheimer, play something fun. She does a lot of serious roles, and it's nice to see her loosen up a little bit. And here she gets that chance to just be fun and lighthearted. And I thought she did great. And a lot of humor. I think a lot of it comes from Ryan Gosling. But there's also a lot of funny moments in the movie. One of them is pretty hilarious. I won't spoil. Also, Winston Duke is like the stunt coordinator in the film. And I love his character because his character quotes a lot of action movies. Like he has a Rocky quote in here. He has the Last of the Mohicans quote in here. He has like a couple other famous quotes from movies, and he's just quoting them throughout the film. And then Ryan Gosling like, are you really quoting, Rocky? Are you giving me a Rocky speech right now? He had a lot of action, which, no duh, is about a stuntman. You better have action. And like I David Leitch is known for action. All his movies are action movies. So, I think there are a lot of interesting and cool. There's car chases, there's a boat chase, there's a scene on foot, there's a lot of gunfight, even a sword fight. So there's a lot of action in the movie. Romance. I wouldn't think it was just me like an action comedy, but there is general a lot of romance in the movie. Especially between Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling. They have a little montage that kind of shows their relationship that started on film sets. And then there's a scene where, throughout the film, this is definitely a romantic film too. I like how they put in a Taylor Swift song for the one of the more romantic moments of the movie. And it was actually a Taylor Swift song that I never even heard of. So, there you go. Soundtrack in this movie. I think you have a Taylor Swift song in here. You have a lot of music from Kiss, AC/DC. I think Bon Jovi had a song in here. So, they had a good soundtrack. I like what David Leitch here. And like I said, I like this movie because it delves into the behind the scenes of making a movie and what it takes to make a film. And it's really cool for someone on the outside, the people that just go and watch action movies and like, do you know how they did that? Do you know how they filmed that? Do you know what kind of stunts and all that and what it took to make that scene? And here you get a good eye-opener of what it takes to make an action movie. And I like all the behind-the-scenes scenes in the movie. Coming from someone who's a filmmaker who also likes watching back in the day, DVDs or early Blu-rays or on the special features, they would have the making of the movie, an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour documentary, and I would eat that shit up all the time. Some of my negatives with the movie, my main negative is actually with the pacing. This movie's over 2 hours and 7 minutes. I think this movie easily could have been like an hour and 50. It's probably about 2 hours right before credits start rolling. So I would say you can easily have taken out 10 minutes. Maybe even an hour and 45. There were parts in the first act, second act, and third act that I thought I started to doze off and think about other things. And that's when I realized, yeah, you need to wrap up this act, this scene. We need to get moving here. So I think the pacing is a little slow in moments. Also, some of the supporting cast. We have like Stephanie Hsu in here, who was in the comedy Joyride last year. She's only has one scene in the whole movie, and then we don't see her the rest of the film. So it's kind of like, why? Teresa Palmer is another one who shows up in one scene of the movie, and that's all we see of her. I never understood why Teresa Palmer hasn't become a bigger actress in Hollywood, but last movie I saw her in was the Mel Gibson Hacksaw Ridge. And then even like Aaron Taylor Johnson, we don't see much of him in the movie, and I'm just like even like there with the Teresa Palmer and the Stephanie Hsu scene, they're action scenes, but then you gotta go, do we really need those scenes? Like, those are the scenes you could have cut down and shorten the film, because we don't see those characters the rest of the movie. So yeah, overall, if it wasn't for the pacing in some moments, and maybe a little bit more with the supporting cast, like Emily Blunt, great. Winston Duke, he was great in the role. Even Hannah Winningham from Ted Lasso, She does fine in the movie. She has more screen time than even Aaron Taylor Johnson. But yeah, if it wasn't for the pacing mainly, this movie would be probably even higher on my rating. But I would at least give it a 4.4 out of 5. I like Gosling, I like Blunt, the action was good. It was really funny. I like the romantic side of it. I like the behind the scenes of the making of the movie type of thing. I like this movie more than Bullet Train when it comes to David Leitch. So yeah, do you see The Fall Guy? Were you looking forward to this movie? Are you a fan of Ryan Gosling or the director's work? Let me know in the comments below. Matt the Bat here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment.